is Christopher Doyle. Doyle is best known for his longtime collaboration with director Wong-Kar-wai, lensing 7 of Wong's films that redefined Hong Kong's visual style. Born in 1952 in Sydney, Australia, Doyle has spent most of his life in Asia and even adopted a Chinese name,杜可风, meaning like the wind. A self-taught cinematographer who began as a photographer, he embarked on an unconventional journey, from working as a sailor and even an acupuncturist before finding his calling behind the camera in the early 1980s. Iconic works like Chungkingexpress of 1994 and 2000's In the Mood for Love owe much of their critical acclaim to Doyle's vivid imagery. Doyle's filmography spans over 100 titles across the globe, including collaborations with directors like Zhang Yimou, Hero 2002, Edward Yang, and Gus Van Sant. He has an eye for both Eastern and Western sensibilities, bringing a distinctive Eastern flair to international cinemas. Cinematography style and techniques. One hallmark of Doyle's style is his liberal use of handheld camera movement, which brings a tangible immediacy and intimacy to the frame. In the cramped apartments and busy streets of his Hong Kong films, Doyle's roaming camera makes us feel like a participant in the scene, catching fleeting moments of beauty amid chaos. This freedom of movement was partly born out of necessity. Working in tight locations on low budgets, he couldn't always lay down tracks or cranes. Doyle has said he likes to work fast and capture happy accidents, which handheld shooting facilitates. Another signature of Doyle's cinematography is his use of extreme wide-angle lenses and unconventional framing. In films like Fallen Angels, he pushed wide lenses so close to the actors that their faces distort at the edge of the frame, creating an otherworldly, claustrophobic intimacy. He often composes shots in bold, rule-breaking ways, placing characters at the very edge of the frame or shooting their reflection in a mirror rather than a direct view. This gives his images a feeling of peeking into private worlds, enhancing the emotional tension. For example, in the Mood for Love, Doyle frequently frames the two leads through doorways, window panes, or between wall partitions, visually emphasizing the barriers between them while also drawing the viewer deeper into their secretive space. Such inventive framing challenges viewers to look beyond the obvious. As Doyle often demonstrates, what's out of focus or partially obscured can be as important as what is clearly seen, adding layers of meaning and mystery to a shot. Perhaps the most famed aspect of Doyle's style is his penchant for motion experimentation, especially the dreamy slow motion and blur effects in Wong-Kar-wai's films. A prime example is the step printing technique used in Chungkingexpress 1994 and Fallen Angels. Doyle would shoot at slower shutter speeds or lower frame rates, then repeat frames in printing to create a streaking, smeared motion blur. In Chungkingexpress, this appears in the frenetic chase sequences and bustling street scenes, figures of people becoming blurs of color and light rushing past the camera while the central character remains relatively sharp, conveying a sense of disconnection amid chaos. Doyle's use of these slow shutter, dragged shutter effects gives the viewer a viscerally subjective experience, as if time slows and we are sucked into the character's emotional headspace. He pairs this with rhythmic editing and sometimes arbitrary camera movements, swaying or panning in ways that follow music or emotion more than strict narrative logic. The camera might suddenly swing to catch a detail or float along with a character in a dance-like flow. Doyle himself likened cinematography to a dance. The relationship between me, the camera, and the actor is always a dance, he says, highlighting how movement and music inform his visuals. This approach results in cinematography that feels alive and dynamic, constantly surprising the audience. Lighting style and techniques. Christopher Doyle's lighting style is renowned for its boldness and emotional impact. Often working on location in real-world settings, Doyle embraces available light and practical sources to create atmosphere. He uses Hong Kong's neon signs as prime light sources in many scenes. Instead of fighting against neon's mix of hues, he leans into it, letting garish greens, reds, and blues splash across his subjects to authentically capture Hong Kong's nocturnal energy. At the same time, Doyle is equally adept at low-key lighting to produce moody, high-contrast images. In many of his films, especially his 1990s work, scenes are lit sparsely. A single practical lamp or a street light might illuminate the actors while the background falls off into darkness, creating a sense of intimacy amidst isolation. One of Doyle's most celebrated achievements in lighting is in Wong-Kar-wai's In the Mood for Love. He crafted a nostalgic, intimate glow for this romance by using soft, diffused lighting and warm color tones. In these scenes, the key light often comes from practical sources like tungsten table lamps, casting a gentle amber hue on the characters' faces. Doyle leans into reds and oranges, warm colors that evoke longing. while allowing corners of the frame to fall into soft shadow, suggesting the secrecy and restraint in the characters' relationship. The diffusion filters Doyle used, such as Pro Mist filters, further softened highlights and gave the light a slight halation glow, enhancing the film's dreamlike, timeless atmosphere. This masterful use of light makes In the Mood for Love a textbook example of how lighting can convey subtext. The warmth of the lighting mirrors the suppressed passion between the protagonists. On a Doyle set, you might find him bouncing a single bare bulb off a wall, or diffusing a lamp through a textured glass window to create dappled effects. Whatever is at hand to shape the light organically. He once remarked that lighting is intuitive. It's like playing piano. What did my fingers do? In other words, he lights by feeling, not by formula. Scenes feel alive because the lighting is not overly polished. Instead, it mirrors the natural light one might actually experience in those environments. The man behind the camera, philosophy and legacy. At the core of Doyle's artistry is a deep belief in capturing truth and human experience. He has said, "I don't want to make films that are just about pretty pictures. I want to make films that are about the human condition, about the way we live, the way we love, the way we dream." This quote illuminates why Doyle's images resonate so much. Beyond their beauty, they always serve an emotional or thematic truth in the story. He considers the camera an extension of the human eye, a tool to explore life and reveal what is often unseen. Doyle's guiding principles are intimacy and authenticity. "I think the point of cinematography is intimacy," he explains, balancing the familiar and the dreamlike, being both engaged and yet standing back, noticing details others might miss, and shining a light on what's true. This ethos is evident in how Doyle's cinematography can feel at once grounded, capturing gritty street life or raw emotions, and poetic, with stylized colors or movement that elevate reality into art. He embraces contradiction, subjective but objective, chaotic but meaningful. The result is a cinematic style that invites viewers to emotionally engage with the film on a deeper level.